How you guys doing today? Welcome back to the Outlaw Performance Garage. Nice to see you. How you doing? What's happening with you? Today we're going to discuss some combinations that I've been thinking about, just going round and round and round in my mind. What can I do? What am I going to do with this vehicle here? So I've decided on two companies. You guys let me know in the comments. Comment about this. Let me know. Throw me some ideas. You know what I mean? I'm looking for you for ideas. You know what I mean? To get my decision correctly. So Texas Speed, LME Performance. So they're both from Texas. Texas Speed is a giant shop. You might see Cletus over there, Guitarmageddon, ZL1. They get a lot of their cars built over there. It's kind of like a real big factory. They got like state-of-the-art technicians, state-of-the-art equipment over there. It looks pretty impressive. But then on the other hand, I keep hearing about this company called LME, Late Model Engines. And, God, I want to say about 3 shops that I've already talked to about rebuilding this car said that they all get their engines from LME. I guess it's a proven company. The guys over there are pretty badass. They got like a team of engineers over there, and they got proven combinations that put these engines together, so they already know like the specs. Like there's no guessing. You know what I mean? It's like here's what we have. This is what you want. Here's the power application. They'll ask you what kind of power are you looking to make, and then they'll put together a combination for you. So I'm gonna put their link below. I mean, it's a long video, maybe about, God, I want to say 45 minutes. But man, I watched all of it, and I was very impressed with the lingo, the verbiage that they use, and the way they describe how they actually work on their parts and build these engines. So take a look at that and tell me what you think. I mean, most of you guys already know about Texas Speed, right? Fat company. They got a ton of parts over there, but who's actually building their motors? You know what I mean? Are they freaking seasoned dudes, or are they just like guys that they train there? You know what I mean? I'm hearing mixed stuff. You know what I'm saying? With LME, they're all seasoned technicians. They're like professionals at exactly what they do. You know what I'm saying? So they got the skill. So I'm torn between the two. On one hand, you have Texas Speed, then you got LME. LME is, I think they're a higher end shop. The prices are higher, but the way that everything is presented, I feel like it's a higher end shop, maybe a level or two above Texas Speed. That being said, I still want your guys' opinion on these two shops. Let me know. Texas Speed. Let's talk about Texas Speed. Texas Speed has a Cletus McFarley 427 aluminum block, long block or short block. I guess it's his 1.0, one of his first motors that he was, I think, what did he go? He went into the 9s or the 8s with this motor. That's one motor that I've been thinking about. It's quite pricey, but it's their proven combination. Yes, Cletus did blow the shit out of this motor, the heck out of this motor, but it's running. I mean, they do have the combination there. They also have the forged LSA 377, which that's basically what my car is already, so we can go with that. Then they also have the the 406 or 408 long or short block, the 416 long or short block, and they also have the 427 long or short block, LSX. So the LSX it then becomes an iron block. So instead of having an aluminum block, I think the aluminum block, like you can have 2,000 horsepower parts in that block, but the block itself can only withstand 1,000 horsepower. So that's when they started making these LSX iron blocks. The LSX iron blocks can hold like 2,000 pounds. Being that said, LME, on the other hand, they have the similar combinations. They have the 377 LSA aluminum block also. They have the 406, the 416 aluminum block, and the 427 Big Daddy LSX block. You know, you can get the internal parts at you can get it making 1,500 horsepower or 2,100 horsepower. It all depends. You know what I mean? So let's talk about the 377. So the 377 is basically the same cubic inches that we already have. All they're going to be doing is taking their own combination in their own parts, and they're going to be basically forging everything and putting it into this 377. Now the 377 can make a lot of horsepower, you know, over 1,000 horsepower, but it's still a 377. You know what I mean? So we'll be having to push a ton of boost on this motor. I want to push boost and maybe 100 or 200 shot of nitrous. So whatever we choose here, I'm going to let them know that I want this block, these parts, these rings, I want them to do whatever they have to do to prep for a shot of nitrous, just in case. You know what I mean? You know, that panic button, like, you know, I think they call it scramble. The scramble button, boom, turn on the nitrous and continue racing. So being that said, then they jump up to the 408 and the 416. The cubic inches start getting bigger. You know what I mean? So now the motor is going to make more power compared to the 377. So we can potentially use less boost, and it's going to make more power because of cubic inches. So to be honest with you guys, I was thinking about a 427. You know what I mean? Like the 427 long block by LME or the 427 short block by LME. LSX, of course, not aluminum. With the LSX, we're going to put on 80 more pounds, but who cares, man? That block is freaking well known. Great put together. I mean, that's the block you want to have. 80 more freaking pounds, but then we're going to gain 1,000 horsepower. You know what I mean? So the motor will have to work less to achieve the power compared to a 377 or a smaller engine. You know what I mean? So let me know what you think. I'm really leaning towards the 427 LSX, nitrous prepped. I'm going to tell them I want it to be able to handle 30 to 40 pounds of boost. You know what I mean? And I want it all prepared. I'm also going to see if their long blocks are, oh my God, their long blocks are ridiculous expensive. So I'm going to see, because I just spent $3,500 on some heads. I'm going to see if they can use my heads. I'm going to see if they can inspect the heads, make sure there's no buildup, you know, none of that material, that powder coating material in the heads, and see if we can salvage them. And if they can just go through the heads and do whatever they have to do to ensure that the heads are freaking good to go and they will make the power, I'm all for it. I have heard that, so the LSX block, they're going to have 6-bolt heads, so there's more clamping power on the head, so the head will, you know, the head gaskets won't fail. There's 6 bolts instead of 4 bolts. I am going to go with that route. My heads are 4-bolt heads, but I think right now, honestly, guys, like, we're sitting at 750 horsepower to the wheel. I would be happy, honestly, I would be really happy with 1,000 rear wheel. If we could break 1,000 rear wheel with maybe 25 pounds of boost, maybe a little bit more, dude, I call it a day. You know what I mean? But all in all, I wanted to be able to at least, I think the top number that I would want to achieve would be like a 13 or 14 rear wheel horsepower, but not yet. I ain't ready for that. You know what I mean? Like I've jumped up in the game 100 horsepower at a time, and it's like, holy crap. Like when you feel that 100 horsepower rear wheel jump, you're like, wow, that's a lot of horsepower. So from 7 to 1,000, you know what I mean? Almost 300 additional rear wheel horsepower. Oh, dude, I'm going to have my hands full. So I got to make sure I can hold on to that on the street. So I'm going to have them build me maybe a, 1,400 horsepower LSX mate 427. That's where I'm leaning towards. You guys let me know. Comment. Make a comment, man. Come on. I love when you guys comment. Let me know what you think. Let me know the goods and the bads about the 377 compared to the LSX 427 and Texas Speed versus LME. Let me know. Let's come together. Let's make a decision on this. You know where my head's at. 427 all day long LSX block. And we'll go from there. All right. So thanks for staying tuned to the channel. Thank you for following and keeping up to date with me. I appreciate it. I like it. Please smash that like button. Smash that like and subscribe button. Let's get this channel to grow, guys. Let's do this. I will see you next time. And thank you so much for viewing the Outlaw Performance Garage. Woo!